What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drums Nation. Hola.
Top of the morning to you.
I thought you were gonna give the greeting for our African American demographic.
Yo, why are people posting spoilers of Guardians on Twitter, bro? See, this is the.
You still haven't seen Guardians yet?
No, I saw it yesterday. I'm just
Oh.
saying for people who didn't see it, like they
Yeah.
posting actual scenes. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh.
I think you have to wait at least a month. I think for like
dang.
theater stuff, I think you need at least a month.
Nah,
Crazy, bro.
it is what it is at this point. But that movie was amazing, and we will be talking about that shortly. But how's everybody doing today? Welcome to Party Nation live stream. The spinoff of the after party made famous by Eric Jones, aka DJ Eric, aka the Chalk King.
Eric's Reloaded.
I do have my snacks and treats. I also have a mini moon pie.
What about that microphone grabbing that you were doing off screen?
What did that taste like?
I don't like a marshmallow cake, I guess. I don't know how to describe
okay.
it.
Enjoy, Kata,
Where's Kata?
in the chat. I
Oh,
guess that's where else he would. Okay.
oh. I didn't see it. I got the YouTube window popped up,
Yeah.
so it's like a delay.
Sure.
Kata, you're going to see Guardians with a bunch of people in Tokyo.
That
I'm-
sounds fun.
That sounds fun. I didn't get an
Yeah.
invite, but that's cool. I thought you would invite me to Tokyo one day, Kata, but you know,
A long drive.
it is what it is.
You- I'm thinking, how are you gonna drive over water?
Wait. Did Josh just put me on? I've never thought about that, Josh.
I've never had a moon pie.
I haven't either, so
I don't know what that is.
I've never thought about that.
It's like a marshmallow
Is it like
covered in
like a
yummy-
Debbie snack or?
It's
No, it's
almost
not a
like a
Debbie
Debbie
snack.
snack, but
It's almost like
different
it. It's a marshmallow sandwich.
snack. Yeah,
that
So it's a
doesn't
s'more.
sound. Yeah, like
So it's a s'more.
without. Yeah, I guess it does have graham crackers.
It's a s'more without chocolate.
I'm like, you can
Okay.
do chocolate, you can do vanilla, you can do strawberry. I mean, there's a whole moon pie
Okay.
of flavor.
Interesting.
What's up, Laura? Oh, Justin, you take a major L.
yeah, you got to see this in theaters, man.
Movie is amazing, and you will cry. Like I was in there.
That pissed me off. Like I almost cried like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, "Why y'all keep doing me like this?"
And then my wife's looking at me like, really? I'm like, yes, that don't hurt. She said, yes, but I'm not about to sit here and cry in the theater. I said, but it's a raccoon.
Oh, I cry almost every time I see a movie, man. I don't know. I think there's just something about the like big screen that does it for me almost every time.
See, everybody's saying to warm these things up. I ain't never had one, and I don't want.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
You gonna go put it in the microwave?
So let's talk about Gossip Girls.
All the women are hot. That's all I got to say.
All the men are too.
It's crazy
see.
because I saw.
I've never seen the show.
I mean,
Whoa.
I guess.
Welcome.
Wait, you never seen it? Like you ain't never see like people
No,
post. Like,
I've not seen a
scenes and
single
stuff?
episode of Gossip Girl.
So,
Either
Lance
show,
just
like the
went to,
reboot,
warm up
or
a moon pie.
I haven't seen any of it.
oh, okay.
I feel like I'd probably like it. I like that kind of stuff, but no, I
I
haven't.
think you'll like the original one. I only watched that because a lot of my friends watched it, and I was like, "Gossip Girl, what are y'all on? And then I sat there and I watched it, and I
Wait.
could not turn it off because it was just entertaining. I was like, what is going on?
Wait,
Is it good?
I'm about to. I have to go clean my microwave out before my wife gets home. I forgot to put something down. But
It's good but messy.
wait, I'm about to see.
It look all melted.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh my god.
Is it like a moon in your mouth?
Whoa!
I've never thought
I don't know how
about
to take
doing.
that.
I gotta put my daddy on this because never in a million years would I have thought to do that.
Have you ever tried nutty bars in the freezer, like freeze them before you eat them?
I'm allergic to chocolate. Here you
A
go,
nutty
Chinese
bar.
woman.
Oh my
I keep
god!
forgetting that.
You
I
can't
keep
eat
forgetting
Reese's
that.
and
Sorry, man.
Snickers and
Oh,
You're
so you
missing
can't
out.
have s'mores.
Oh,
Because there's
okay,
like Twinkies you can put in the freezer.
Who you got in the NBA playoffs? I'm a Miami fan, and right now we're up on the Knicks, so I'm gonna have to roll with my team.
oh, that was amazing.
DJ Eric, you might be muted. Just saying.
He is. He got it on purpose. Probably he's doing something about
Okay.
it.
No, but Guardians was really good, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm seeing it again tomorrow, and I cannot wait.
really?
Yeah, I'm seeing it again.
I want to
have
go see it again, but I don't know.
It's been in my head. I love
Nice
the beard.
hat.
It's been in my head all week. I have to see it again.
That was amazing.
It wasn't. Shut up.
It was.
Oh, you finished it already? God.
Yes, it was a mini. It was a mini, but now I have to go to the store and buy like the actual size one.
I've never had one. I kind of want one now.
You are close to that 1K. You are so close to 1K.
I know, right?
It's like right there. It's literally right there, man.
I know. I was looking at that today. I said, "Wow!" Like, just hurry up. Whoever else is coming. Maybe I should make a Gotham Knights video where I'm just ranting.
That's what I just did. I uploaded
That might help.
No, but that's what I want to do first because I saw Eric. I saw your video, and it's like I watched the episode today, but
from last week.
yeah,
It was boring.
I fell
It was a boring
asleep.
episode.
I
Yeah.
fell asleep again.
Like no shade to him. Like I mean,
Yeah.
there it's like it's not popping like it was in the beginning.
Nope.
I think it was a better show in the first few episodes, but they need to
That's
speed it up a little bit. Like what's happening? Like
I was
I don't
confused
know.
how Harvey, you ended up back in the bed with Rebecca, but I heard the part where he was like, "Wait, your husband got stabbed, but you were worried about me." I'm like, that wouldn't that make you not want to mess with her? I don't know. That's like top tier CW drama right there. And I don't know what was going on with the kids. All I know is I saw Turner. They were going to take down some burglar, but he has on a Kangol hat with a ski mask that he put. I'm like, that's your disguise? You look British.
You know what I actually think would have helped Gotham Knights if they would have like at least given them some sort of costume by now to make it a little bit more interesting. Because just seeing them running around in like whatever their fit of the day is, like what you're wearing a hoodie and a pair of jeans and you're out here doing vigilante stuff. It just doesn't work. Because none of them are super interesting. Like, okay, so let me give you an example. If it were Oliver Queen wearing some Timbs, some jeans, and like a tank top, you'd be like, all right, yeah, I get it, right? Because he wears a costume once in a while. But these are a bunch of kids running around in like the Hot Topic clothes and like give them
Forever
something.
21.
By the way, Carrie is a badass. Like she's probably the most skilled person on the whole team.
Yep. And she has to be on punishment 95% of the time.
What took me out with her was when she was on the phone trying to talk to her mom about not being at school while they were like basically being threatened. I was like, that's it. I'm done. That's when I was like, I'm out. Nope.
It was that, and then it was Harper and Cullen having.
I mean, just that whole scene. That was actually
you needed top surgery. I said, is this the time?
Do you remember the camping episode of Naomi, the one where they went out in the
It
woods.
was so bad.
That's the one where I tapped out.
that part of that episode reminded me of that camping episode with Naomi, and I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah,
I was hoping this week would pull me back in. Not so much. Like, good for them if they get a renewal. Fine. I can't co-sign anymore. I just can't.
My wife has tapped out on like episode 2
of Gotham Knights.
Yeah, before the really good episode. Then she watched that episode, and then she was like, "I mean, that was cool, but that's not gonna pull me back in." She said, "You're not gonna get me like you got me with Naomi." I said, "I didn't tell you to watch Naomi. You thought it was gonna be good."
You know what? Why I'm the most angry at Gotham Knights is every ingredient of that show makes sense. You know what I mean? Like every portion of it could work. But what are they doing? You got Misha Collins as Harvey Dent, which is probably the best part of the show ever. And he's sort of a side story because he's not, quote unquote, one of the Gotham Knights. So he's kind of a secondary story. But then you have all of these interesting characters on the team that are just, the storyline is slow as molasses. It's like where are we going with? There's too many characters. There's too many. How many do we have? 7 characters we have to follow in the first season? Come on. Like, no, it's just too many. It should have been like, we should have probably focused on like Turner and Carrie maybe for the first few episodes. And then we introduce the other characters. So that way everybody has a little bit of time. We met everybody in the first episode. In the first 30 minutes of the first episode.
Not even 30, like, the first 10 minutes. Everybody showed up because that's how fast that's what took me out the first episode. Everything happened so fast. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, terrible.
Think about this. What is one of the biggest complaints when it comes to like recent superhero stuff with a lot of characters? Is that they don't know how to handle and juggle that many characters, right? That's one of the big issues with the Justice League movie. It was a big issue with the Eternals movie. A lot of movies just have an issue juggling a lot of characters. If you don't know how to do that, you're going to end up with situations like this where you're trying to give everybody something and nobody's getting anything. Yeah, that's the problem. So I had to tap out. That was it. Done.
Oh, Robert even got the cliche criminal rap sheet readout to introduce a bunch of characters.
Like I said in my video, if this would have been a Harvey Dent show, I'd be all in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If it were a Harvey Dent detective show, I would have been all in.
That's the most interesting story of the entire show. The entire show. Like, Darren, are you still like? I know you were enjoying it.
I have been really enjoying it, but also I think it's the kind of show for me where I like watching it, but I have no passion to talk about it. Like I finish an episode and I'm like, yeah, that was fun. All right, see ya. And
I can understand that.
And I like hop on stream and I'm like, what happened? Like I'm trying to like think about what happened last week. Like I enjoyed it enough. But I think it's fun. I hope it does get a second season because I think it's a type of show that can get better over time. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's a show where like season 1 kind of like very like Legends, where like season 1 they're kind of finding what they wanted to do, and then season 2 when they're actually like superheroes, they can finally like find their own footing. But I think it's fine now. It's not terrible for me, but it's also not great either. So it's kind of in that like middle ground.
Batwoman season 1 was not boring. It was a cringy show at times. I don't think it was a boring show. I think Batwoman season 1 had clear problems, but boring was not one of them for me. Obviously Ruby Rose struggled a bit with that role. But we know there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happened that caused a lot of the issues with Batwoman season 1. But Batwoman season 1 also had stuff going on. Like there was action scenes, there was fighting, there were characters. Alice was in season 1 of Batwoman. Like literally that was the main reason to keep watching Batwoman was Alice. I think it's a weird thing to compare like the levels of action between Gotham Knights and Batwoman because it's just no comparison. Gotham Knights is a mystery show and Batwoman was an action show. So
I agree.
In comparison, I think Stargirl would be the mystery. Season 3 would be the comparison.
Yeah,
but look how much better that was than Gotham Knights. Stargirl, their mystery was way better than Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, want to point out that Batwoman got significantly better when Javicia came on. That show was so much better with Javicia than it ever was.
Yes. Praise my woman.
It made way more sense, honestly. Just the whole show made more sense with Javicia as Batwoman.
Oh, snacks and treats. By the way, she liked and retweeted my tweet about her the other day.
Javicia did.
I'm wearing her down.
James Gunn liked a bunch of my tweets this morning. That was kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I was talking about like Rocket and stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That Rocket is like right here for all time. Like, no, Kang better leave that little raccoon alone. That's all I'm gonna say. If you target him, whoever is directing those films, if they target Rocket, I'm gonna have a problem.
I actually think word of mouth is going to help this movie next weekend.
Yeah.
I think it's going to do really good the
100%.
second weekend because the word of mouth has been really positive, with the exception of a few small like haters, pretty much.
Yeah.
Trying to find reasons to dislike the movie, like struggling to find reasons to dislike it.
Then did you see the whole discourse online talk about some? Of course, Chris Pratt is gonna voice Crypto. Since when can Crypto talk to Superman?
Right.
Like you're acting like you're acting like he's gonna be having
Have you seen
side
Superpets?
conversations with other animals.
This isn't Cosmo. It's a completely different character.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm like, if it was just a Crypto movie, of course, because we're not just
Yeah.
gonna follow a dog that doesn't talk.
Have you seen Super Pets?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Super
yes,
Pets, the
I've
dogs
seen
do
Super
talk.
Pets, but
They do. They talk a lot. Matter of fact, all of them talk.
yeah, but it's gonna be like when Supergirl in the newest Tomorrowverse movie. When no, not that the Super Sons movie. I hope he's not that aggressive, but because he's about to kill John.
I think it's just going to be one of those things like, and I'm not going to spoil anything from Guardians, but I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, you know, James, with speaking and non-speaking animal characters, just knows how to do it. Like he just knows how to direct those types of characters.
Sean is gonna be Crypto,
probably walking around all for it. I have, like, talking about level of concern for things that have been announced. This one is zero concern. Like, I'm totally excited for this. I even made a short on it just a minute ago. I think it's going to be really good. Oh, what's happening?
How would Crypto be introduced?
My kids keep talking.
How would what?
How would Crypto be introduced, do you think?
You mean like in the movie?
Yeah, in the movie.
He might just be there with Superman. We might not get in. He just might be with Superman. They might just he's always been with Superman.
Does he have like an origin story?
I mean, there's a few different ones in the comics. The one in Titans is very similar to the most common one, which is where he was experimented on, but that's a more recent iteration, as far as I know, because he was introduced back in 1955, and I'm not familiar with that origin at all because I did not read the comics. I wasn't even alive back then, so I wasn't too up on it, and I haven't gone back and read it. But I mean, what was his origin did we ever find out his origin in the animated movie?
He was just on Krypton. He just like came with them.
That's probably what'll happen.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm assuming that's what's going to be.
I actually think that would be kind of cute. I'd be down.
I mean, let's be honest. This movie is supposed to be like a fun, like family version of what Superman is. I don't think they're going to do any weird experiments on the dog. I think the dog will just be a dog with powers.
I hope it ain't no weird experiment.
I don't think so.
With human traits, apparently.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I have a feeling a lot of people are worried about this, but after seeing how James wrapped up well, first of all, I've loved James Gunn's work most of the time. I'm not a huge fan of every single thing that he's done, but he's a very good director. And so in levels of like, you know, do I think he's going to nail Superman? I have very high expectations for what he'll do with Superman. Could it be bad? I mean, yeah, any movie that comes out could be bad, but I think on this one you have to look at his track record, and his track record is pretty solid.
His lowest rated movies, according to Rotten Tomatoes, if you count that, is like in the 80s.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be like a laugh slap happy type comedy movie. I think it's going to have a lot of heart. I mean, okay, so here's the deal. If you have seen Guardians 3, you know that James can do touching, emotional stuff that does have comedy in it. I don't think the Superman movie will go as far into comedy as like Guardians does, but I don't think it has to. And I think James is capable of doing like a touching story. So
Do you think that James is going to bring back like all the classic Superman characters that we have not seen in a while?
Yeah.
James is good at deep cuts. He's good at deep cuts. Like I'm sure he'll pull up some stuff. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm sure he'll pull up some stuff.
Tyler Hoechlin better have a cameo in that film.
Oh God!
It's just a random guy on the street. Like,
oh, you mean not a Superman? Brandon Routh should be on the telephone. Tyler Hoechlin should be in the coffee shop.
What if all the Superman were in the newsroom of the Daily Planet, just like
they could
typing away at the keyboard?
Look. I think James Gunn is good at stuff like that. We might see Tom Welling as like somebody in in there too. Like they could easily, because look at Michael Rosenbaum. So here's the thing. This is the wild thing. So we know that he's worked with James on Guardians. Yeah. So is there a possibility that he could be playing the cinematic version of Lex Luthor? Because I will be honest with you, he is the GOAT of Lex. Yeah. He is the greatest Lex Luthor that's ever been, in my opinion.
I'd be down for that. I would not mind that at all. That would be a great way to bring him back.
I think a young Clark with like a older Lex would actually be kind of cool. Like I think they could have a cool back and forth. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you all feel about Joshua Orphan Superboy potentially portraying Clark Kent? I seen that casting going around.
I think he's the perfect Superboy. I don't know if we'd want to make him Superman after that. I mean, I'd love to see him, but
is that Titan Superboy?
Well, he has like a comparison. Well, not comparison. He has like a thing with Crypto. So
he does look okay. So like we're talking about people that look the part. He looks like a Superman. Like he looks like he could play that character. But I think he's like the perfect Superboy. And I know the show might not continue, but he's such a good version of Connor. I don't know if I'd want to see him as Kal-El. But
who's better, Lucas Graybill or him?
Obviously him. Like, are you serious right now? Come on.
He's one of the best characters on Titans, period.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like literally one of the most interesting characters.
Yeah.
I've always
wanted to say Connor on Red K was interesting in Smallville.
Didn't he just turn into like?
It was so bad.
Yeah, it was weird. It was really weird. But I will say, because then we're just gonna jump to like, I can't even say it was the best show of the week this week, because we all know what the best show of the week was. Like, what show like had the best episode? But we're gonna jump to Superman and Lois. It's been dethroned for the time being.
The first time all season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time for like the past 2 seasons.
Nah, I wouldn't say
all that. Yeah.
Yeah, like season 8 of Flash was good, man.
Not all the way through.
It had some weird ones.
What part wasn't good?
I think it's that like middle. I think it's that middle bit.
Yeah.
That was
okay. I'll give you that one.
It's the middle bit with destroying the lab and Frost sitting there while like glass flies all around. I'm like, Barry, I get why you did it, but that wasn't safe.
That scene was cool though.
It was, but
it looked really good.
Just imagine
like the muscle suit for the Black Flash.
That was the biggest low point for me, was the Black Flash. Well, the Reverse Flash black suit. I didn't like that one. I thought that was the ugliest thing.
That thing was ugly.
And like they were just sitting in Star Labs, letting him murder people on the street.
I'll be honest, that I love the Flash suit we have now, but that updated Reverse Flash suit is so good to me. The fact that they did not use that in that final battle with Barry really pissed me off, because that's classic.
Yeah,
I don't know what that black suit was. It wasn't even the Reverse Flash suit. It looked like Missy Elliott or something. Like the Missy Elliott inflatable suit deflated and strapped to his body. It didn't even fit right.
It looked like the cocoon that Wally was in from Cicada.
It looked like melted plastic. It didn't look good, like
at all.
You mean to tell me somebody in the costume department saw that on him and goes, "That's the fit. That's the one. That's the one." Everybody, like, I can't imagine that, seeing the yellow suit that we got earlier in the season that was fucking a banger. Like,
Eric Wallace was like this. Oh yes. Oh, big, black and veiny. Oh yeah. Oh.
Also, I want to point out.
Like it?
Okay, that's a clip. That's a clip. Hold on, that's a clip. That's a clip. Y'all got to get that one. Make that work. All that aside,
happy birthday, Flash Freak.
Out,
you're like 76.
Yeah, happy birthday. This is something that I deal with a lot, especially when it comes to like fashion runways and stuff. Solid monochromatic black looks really cool against other colors. Like if you look at movies like The Matrix and stuff where you have the green and the purples and all that stuff and everything, it looks really cool. But when you're fighting in a dark ass parking lot in an all black suit, you don't see any of the details. We couldn't really see, like you saw more details of that suit in the set photos than you did on the actual show because it just doesn't look good. The yellow would have popped out. Like it would have been so good with that yellow and the red. I honestly could have even lived with the whole like being resurrected by the Force children or whatever. Like whatever. I could have been okay with that. But the fact that they were like, no, we're going to use this ugly suit. I just.
No, and then the cow had the little lines on it. Just streaming down. I'm like,
and then it was like a halter top. It came down like this. I'm like, what is that?
Didn't he say that Grant would make fun of him in that suit?
Like, yeah, Grant actually made fun of him when he fell down and he couldn't get up. He goes, "That's what happens when you have a muscle suit on."
But so I was also talking to different people on Twitter, and we were talking about like the potential renewals and whatnot. And I was thinking, of course, it's gonna suck if Superman and Lois does not get renewed. But we are in the middle of a writer's strike. Superman and Lois is going to be delayed regardless.
Yeah. Well, the only good news is that if it was going to be another like January, February type thing, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But if they were planning on releasing it in the fall, then yes, it would be a problem.
But I was thinking too, we've had Tyler Hoechlin is like, he has to be our longest running Superman. Like he's been cast as the character of Superman since 2016.
There is someone longer, and that was in 1993, and his name was Dean Cain.
Oh God,
he had longer seasons.
Oh God, but I mean, I wouldn't mind. I would be upset, but I'm like, we have that lasting legacy, and he, seeing like all the stuff that he said at the con he did this weekend, it's just good to know like that we have this definitive version of Superman, that he got to portray Superman the way he always envisioned it. Like him saying that if he came back to do the Armageddon crossover, it would have been the Earth Prime Superman. I don't believe, because we didn't know that there were two separate characters at the time. I think that would have just been like a whole lot of confusion. Sure. Does anybody else agree?
Oh yeah. I think that was, I thought that was total BS, right? I mean, I think it makes sense why he would say that, obviously, but I definitely think that would have been the same version, because, I mean, I guess it depends when they decided they wanted to switch it over, right? If that was done after season 1, or if that was a mid kind of like into season 2 thing, because it did like going into season 2, it felt like they were setting us up for like, all right, it's coming, something big is like happening. So I wonder if that was like going into like those final episodes, they're like, okay, let's do this thing. I don't know.
It only felt like that because they kept teasing us like, oh, we're finally gonna get the answers.
Yeah, sure.
In the finale, and then we got that horrible explanation. Oh, and this leads to the perfect segue. We can't listen to anybody on the show, like even in the show, because as this last episode of Superman and Lois showed us, General Lane was wrong. Very, very wrong. There's other powered people. They just stayed under the radar.
He is human, so people make mistakes.
Well, he makes a lot of them, and he keeps getting called out by Clark on them. He makes a lot of mistakes. How did you all feel about that? Like learning that Automatopoeia had her, like she's an actual meta. I don't know how cancer's causing her to lose her abilities, though.
I guess early on, I was like, they're not going to do the same thing where he gives her powers. It's going to be a meta-human thing.
I wonder how she stayed under the radar this long.
Yeah.
It was called the Underground for a reason.
That's true. But that was really cool to see. She killed Moxie. Fun fact: in some iterations, Moxie is Bruno Mannheim's dad. If they went with that, then I would have questions. But adopted, I don't know. But it was cool to see like their whole backstory in an episode that did not have Superman. I was not bored. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. And I think that's just a testament to the show and how it was developed. Because I know some people were afraid that we just wouldn't get any Superman in this show, that it was just going to be like a Clark Kent, Lois Lane show.
Sure.
But I think they're giving us a good balance of both. And
Who thought that?
A lot of people thought that initially because
it says Superman, for God's sake.
But you know how they are with Superman, especially when they thought it was still going to be the Superman from Earth Prime that gets punched one time and lays on the floor.
Smallville, I can understand. There was no Superman in that.
He still didn't lose as many fights as Earth Prime Superman did, though.
Yeah.
Also, I think it didn't always, I guess, make sense, but I guess it's understandable that they weren't going to make Superman as powerful as other characters when they didn't have him as a regular character on the shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, people forget that Supergirl in the comics is canonically more powerful than Superman is. Like, there's been many examples of that.
And he said he purposely played that version of Superman as a side character because he wasn't the focus.
Because it's Supergirl. I mean, it was her show. She's not going to lose to Superman.
Yeah, but his introduction was still amazing. But anywho, the big reveal of this episode, I admit I was wrong. I was right the week before, but I was wrong about this.
I am so happy we're wrong. I am so. I've never been happier.
I am too. I thought there was going to
be getting weird.
Some Alabama stuff. No, because when it got to the point of him talking about his mom, I'm like, oh my God, they're really about to do it. He's like, you should meet my mom. My mom's badass. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're really about to do it. They're really about to show that his mom is Darlene Irons.
Nope.
But I'm sitting, I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm wrong. That would have just been so awkward. Everybody, not onomatopoeia though. Bruno, yes, but people were thinking Bruno with Darlene Irons.
I actually heard some people say that there's a possibility that he could be Bruno's son as well. I do remember people saying that, but it was always one of those things like, you know, people would hope that that's the actual, like, nobody really wanted him to be like Natalie's cousin because that would have been super weird. But yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of people say that they thought that Bruno could actually be his father.
Now, does Nat know what Bruno looks like or
no?
Okay,
so. But John Henry does.
Oh, the meet the parents thing is gonna be.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
Awkward. It's just gonna be it ain't gonna be fist flying. He's gonna be playing the the doting husband.
Let me just I want to throw something out there. Just need to put this out in the world. I know it's a superhero TV show. I know things have to work out. But what are the chances of Natalie and Mateo meeting and liking each other, knowing the relationship that John Henry has with Bruno? Like, it's like
I thought it would come off as, you know, like how Supergirl found out that Mon-El was actually royalty and started hating him.
Yeah, I just was like, you know, I had actually hoped that he was doing this because his father wanted him to infiltrate John Henry. Like, that was what I was like. He wanted to like get, you know, because you remember how he threatened him. He's like, you know, I'll come for your family. I'll do all this. I'll do that. I was hoping that this was sort of like a Bruno thing because, you know, he's very sneaky. Like, he's going to say, oh, I want you to go out and get to know his daughter, and that way you can keep tabs on him or whatever. But that's not the case. It really is just genuinely they like each other, and it's like
bad time.
Okay, all right, you know.
I'm going to threaten your family. Oh, you're dating my son, so I can't do that now.
Yeah.
Was I the only one that got kind of, I'm not going to say irritated with Lois, but it's like, Lois, you're an investigative reporter. You're pushing and she's pulling back. It's something there.
Yeah, 100%.
Jump on it. It's something there. And I'm like, you're backing off, Lois. Why are you backing off? I get you want a friend in here, but she is literally like, she's backing off for a reason. Now, I did not, like I said, I did not expect the ending. Like when she talked, your family coming and then your kids, kids could play with the boys. And I'm like, Lois, you're talking about having play dates and they're like on their way to college. But I'm like, Lois, like she's giving you so much bait. And then she just gets angry and shuts down and Lois feels bad. I'm like, Lois, she's guilty of something. I don't know if that's like if that bothered anybody, but that seemed like a writing flaw to me. Like that didn't seem Lois Lane like.
No.
I mean, it's not, but I also think she's in a very like vulnerable place currently. Like she is, like she just wants anything she can have, and I think her making that friend is very important to her. So yeah, it didn't bother me, but I think I definitely did like cross my mind where it's like, yeah, you should know maybe better, Lois. But
now what I will say, Clark, Tyler Hoechlin, acted the hell out of that scene with Bruno. The investigative reporting, the questions he was asking, how he was getting to the answers. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm like, give this man all the awards. That was great. I'm like, Clark, finally, you got fired in the first season. You've been out of a job for so long, but you never lost it. You never forgot how to do it.
We need more of this. Trap, so
this Superman is a better detective than Titan's Batman was.
No, Gotham Knights.
You mean Gotham Knights? The man didn't even know.
Yeah, Gotham Knights. Well, the one on Titans too. I mean, he wasn't good either. So yeah, both.
He just went and he went to find the Joker and just said, "I'm gonna kill him and retire."
He was like, I think Bruno's lying. Let me have a conversation with him. Bam, everything figured out. Like it was like that quick. But Gotham Knights, Bruce Wayne had a Court of Owls person in their house for like a decade, and it's just cool.
Just drinking poison every day, and not tasting it, but not realizing that I feel a little off today.
And my favorite Jonathan moment was in this episode too.
No, Michael Bishop killed it. I saw people talking about he was so annoying. No. He's doing what a normal human kid would do.
Yeah.
And he killed
last
it.
Last time I checked, cancer doesn't give hope.
That lie, that whole thing was like,
I was like, give that man an Oscar.
I want to point out, I'm a little nervous because I didn't do my live stream today because there weren't any promo pictures released for Flash or Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we not releasing pictures for Superman and Lois? Because these episodes aren't super spoilery right now. So this is the second week where it was late last time, and this week I haven't seen it at all. So no, I'm a little nervous. I'm wondering if it's because Lex is going to show up. Maybe the photos had Lex on them, but I couldn't even do my stream because my stream is based on like looking at the photos and reading the synopsis. And I'm like, there are no photos to look at.
Or they just lazy.
I don't know.
They might
2
be.
weeks ago, we didn't even get a promo. They just forgot to air it, I guess.
Oh, that's true. The promo photos for Superman and Lois just came out. Why are they doing? Like I told you guys, I swear to you, my stream is at 5:30, which was like an hour and a half ago. They wait until my stream is over to put the photos out every time.
They just know you.
Every time. I swear, I feel targeted.
Maybe you should push your stream back to like 7 p.m. or something, or 8.
Know. I like to get it done early though, because I feel like the later it gets, the less people want to watch it because the show comes out on Tuesday.
We watch you at 10:30 all the way to 1 a.m.
Yeah. But the problem is that the people that don't see me at that time will watch it as a regular video the next day, and it's like the episode comes on that night. So I don't know. I feel like it's such a waste. Because originally I was going to do the streams on like Fridays, but then the pictures weren't coming out on Fridays either. So I'm like, I was waiting to the last possible day. If the pictures are out now, maybe we could look at them. I don't know if they're going to have anything, spoilery in them or not, but
I'm trying to.
I don't even see them. Yeah, I don't see them.
I'll be honest. Releasing the photos this close to the episode is dumb. Like all these outlets are reporting on the upcoming episode. These photos should be out like Wednesday of last week.
The CW is too busy posting about all of their acquired shows.
Well, I know that the two places you go to are CWPR and also Superman and Lois TV or something like that.
That's where I always go. I go to Krypton site and then go from there to the other pages, and they didn't have anything as of like 5 o'clock today.
The CWPR usually is like the first one to get them.
Trying to look for it now.
But you shouldn't even have to struggle to find them. These are promo photos.
Yeah.
Like they should be promoted. That's the whole point. Like, what are you making them for? If you're making like that's like promoting something the day it comes out. Like, why are you waiting?
CWPR has not been updated since April 12th.
Damn. We have episode 9 already?
Oh, Spoiler TV has them too. I mean, if that's also where I got.
Who's on?
Who the heck was that?
Why is it F1?
What is going on?
I think that's somebody. I think it's Paigey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, algorithm. I like doing rant and previews too. I used to do them last the first few years, but
Chosen Vader just sent me the images. Oh, look at John. Why am I fangirling over Jonathan in his fireman suit?
Like, no, but it's like weird. The rant and previews, I like doing them because you get to talk about the promo pictures, and it's like if there's no promo pictures, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. Oh, look at him. Yeah.
So proud of play with fire. It's his version of Heat Vision.
I am so happy that I'm liking this actor as much as I am because I think he's killing it.
I love that belt on his suit.
Yeah, the belt is
looks really good.
Yeah.
Why isn't? First of all, doesn't it seem like John wears the same outfit every?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on a budget because he's on a new world.
That's true.
I'll buy that.
I just like the Superman hand cross. That's my favorite pose.
This just seems like an awkward couple. Like,
is it just me or does it feel like Chad is being given so much more than what he was given on Arrow in terms of like content? Because it seems
definitely.
Yeah,
didn't he die in like the first episode he premiered in?
No, it was in the third, and
he was in like 3 episodes.
I know it was more than 3. It was like
it was
5 or
3.
6.
It was 3.
Was it 3?
Yeah,
he died 3 in.
Yep.
Really?
I think so.
It was when he got arrested and got into the van, and then he got like he's like, I know who Oliver Queen is, and he got like an arrow to star whatever throw that Prometheus gave to him, and it got into his neck and he died.
Look at her, just smiling in the face of death.
I hope she doesn't get her heart broken.
Yeah, please.
He has to know. Like, you have to know that your dad has a whole bunch of bad press. Oh, Darlene's back.
What if it's actually the John Henry's Iron Son on this earth, and Bruno took him.
Adopted him.
That would be crazy.
Let's not put that into the world, please.
I just thought like a crazy theory right there.
Yeah, let's not do that.
It's making leaps and bounds for no reason.
It just got a lot worse than cousins. Now we're talking about like half siblings.
It's talking like Barry and Iris right now.
Oh God, here we go.
Who is he fighting? I'm wondering.
Yeah. Is it maybe John? Maybe John Henry Irons?
Or Jordan?
Like duking it out?
Jordan shows up in his suit.
Yeah. Well, after he went to the Magic Castle, got washed and stuff.
That thing has a hole in the chest. He needs to be more than washed. But not too spoilery,
Mm-mm.
Do we think Lex is going to show up?
No, not this week.
Uh,
I think by episode 10. Which this is 9, right?
I was joking, Darth Bunyan.
So maybe the following week.
Well, nothing. Yeah, probably. What episode are we on?
This is 9, right?
9.
Keep in mind, we are supposed to. Hold on, let me see.
Really? It's 9?
The season has
is
gone
this
way
the
too
Flash?
fast.
Are we
Wait,
talking about
no.
the Flash or
It's
Superman
not
Lois?
9. Hold
Yes,
on.
Paige.
I thought
It's
it
8.
was
now.
like-
It's 8. It's 8.
yeah.
It's 8? Okay.
Okay. 8. The Flash were on 10.
I think we have. I
know.
think it's almost like a
11.
week. Isn't it like the 18th that we're supposed to get like all the info about the shows and stuff?
Yep, I think so.
Wasn't Jonathan Major supposed to have an arraignment today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about that.
me either.
Paige apparently posted something in the private chat.
I saw it.
So we are going on a 1 week break.
After this week, I think.
Yeah.
No,
That sucks.
For
Yeah.
Superman and Lois. But I think the Flash is still on, right?
I hope
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
Yeah.
It has
No,
to be.
yeah,
It's
they're-
It's
the
going full
front.
steam ahead.
Yeah.
No, let's just push it out until the week of the Flash movie, and then the final scene, and Barry's like, "My adventure may be ending, but another Barry Allen's is just beginning."
I don't like that.
No, thank you.
I don't like that. You can have that.
And then-
What if the final scene is him transforming into Ezra Miller?
Oh God!
No, definitely
No,
not.
please.
Look,
Oh my god.
by the way, I think there was a quote from Grant that says that he is ready for a call. If they ever call him to play
Yeah.
Barry Allen again, he's ready to do it. So
Every actor is doing it, man. They're like, hey, James Gunn, call me.
Hey, Nicole Maines said, "Call
Yeah.
me." Breck Bassinger
I
said,
would
"Call
love-
me."
I would love Dreamer. I'll just take Dreamer anywhere I can. If it's comics, if it's animation, if it's games.
Listen, she's in Fortnite.
The
Yeah,
trial
she
got,
is.
the trial got pushed back till tomorrow. Okay.
Ah.
Andy's
God.
here.
They're gonna keep pushing this trial back, aren't they?
I'm telling you right now, Disney is like this. They're like,
Yeah.
we recasting? Are we recasting yet? That's what's kind of
I
happening.
mean, they
behind the
made
scenes,
the
isn't it?
quick decision of Carla Dune. Why can't they do the same with Kane?
Okay, so I have had several conversations with friends of mine. One of them is actually works in law,
Mhm.
and they said that they believe the reason why is Jonathan Majors is because with Gina, I believe they just didn't renew her contract. Right, that was what it was. They didn't renew it. Like basically, she was told they didn't need her anymore. But I believe with Jonathan Majors, he was under contract for X amount of movies
Yeah.
and was probably paid X amount of money. So they're trying to determine, because they probably paid him a lot of money that they can't get back now.
Yeah.
So they're probably waiting to find out if do we hold on to this, or do we,
Sure.
keep him around? What do we do with this whole situation? And so that's what a lot of people have told me they believe is happening, is that he was paid a lot of money up front for these, because if he's going to be Kang and be a bunch of variants, he was probably going to be in at least a handful of movies
Yeah.
and some TV
Probably
shows.
like 12.
Yeah, a lot probably.
I also
Um,
I would also be curious if after James Gunn, after they fired him and then hired him back, I bet they want to be sure that this is what they want to do, or they don't have that situation. Like if they fire him and then everything comes back fine, I don't think it would. But if it did, and then they have to be like, well, should we get him back? Should we try to
because
retract?
because think about this: what if they did what if they fired him, right? And
Yeah.
then this case comes out and there's video footage that proves that he's telling the truth.
yeah,
Yikes.
yeah, then it
You know
looks
what I mean?
terrible. Yeah,
So I think that they're being very cautious about what they do in this situation.
Is this like the? Would you say that they did it poorly with Johnny Depp, and so because of that, they're walking on eggshells around this one?
They're worried about optics.
Right?
Yeah, that was Warner
Johnny
Brothers.
Depp was
with Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah,
he was.
I
Jack
think
Sparrow.
it's one of those things where Johnny Depp probably was not under contract for anything, and they were like, we can let him go because we don't have anything lined up. That I mean, there may have been things in talks, but unless there was like something signed in contract, there was no reason. Whereas I think Jonathan Majors is currently under contract with Disney and Marvel. I think that's the big difference, and optics. Because like ultimately we know in this world what the public sees matters more than what's actually happening. So they're trying to gauge where people are, how people feel about it, whose side is everybody on, because honestly, if this goes to court and 100% he is guilty of this, the contract will be void and he will be gone. No questions asked. But if they go to court and they find out that he's exonerated after they'd fired him, that would make them look really bad. And then they're out a bunch of money that they paid him as well. So I think they're just being a typical company. They don't want to lose a bunch of money. Because I mean, think about it. Like Marvel, they retainer people for at least like 3 movies usually. Which means that outside of like Ant-Man and the Wasp, he had at least 2 more movies that he was contracted to be in, at least. But we know there's going to be a lot more for sure. So we're talking like a lot of money for him. And I know we're talking about, well, this was a person that allegedly assaulted someone. Yeah. And I don't think the seriousness of that is downplayed at all. But we're talking about a board of directors that wrote checks. Yeah. They're not thinking about that.
I wonder what it was stuck if it's like fully true. I think that there's a lot of things that we aren't privy to.
Yeah.
But
it's been very quiet. It's been very, very quiet.
I was just about to say, like, you haven't heard anything about him being dropped from anything else, any more random text messages.
Lance, you might be able to hang that picture back up behind you after all.
I might.
It's technically hanged, but there's Goku over it.
I wonder what we're doing with Loki as well, because that was supposed to be this year.
Didn't it get pushed back?
It's okay. September. Okay, so what I saw was that multiple sources have said that Disney is planning on releasing it in September with Jonathan Majors, but there's a little asterisk on that. If this thing ends up being what it is, and he actually did all the stuff that he's being accused of, he'll just be written out for future things. Just sort of like what Ezra's doing with the Flash right now.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, hey, they just really renewed SWAT.
Yeah,
show me.
That's crazy.
They just renewed it for
it should have never been canceled in the first place. It should have never been canceled in the first place.
Yeah,
like
Shamar Moore made it happen.
Shamar called them out on Instagram, and he's like, "I may get in trouble for this, but I'm calling them out on their bullshit." Wow.
Good for them.
Right.
I've seen nothing about the show whatsoever, but good.
I haven't
either.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it now. Not before I watch House of the Dragon, Laura.
I've been watching this ever since they were teamed up with SEAL Team on CBS.
You still haven't watched House of the Dragon, have you?
No. Yeah.
I know it.
Why can't the CW do this? All the outcries that I made to give Javicia one more chance, they fell on deaf ears.
Because
Legends
CW
would get a
is
final
being,
season before Batwoman.
Nexstar. It's Nexstar is different.
I'll skip Nexstar. All it is. Let's talk about the best show of the week. Before Nexstar.
Let's do it.
Out.
Let's talk about
Titans?
the GOAT.
Titans?
Oh yeah, Titans was good too.
I mean, Titans was good.
Yeah,
I saw Ragu said it looked like they were waiting for their mark.
Okay, so there was some weird stuff happening in terms of the directing of the episode, but I still think it was a good episode. Like, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, no. I kind of feel bad because each week I'm more excited for the story that isn't the main like Trigon story. Like each week it's either the like Doom Patrol stuff or it's the like Jason Todd Robin stuff. is always my favorite stuff.
I loved that. I love. It's kind of unrealistic, like how fast Tim learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I said Tim, like Tim is a master detective and is smart, but I'm like, you don't learn.
I mean, what do you think about the Gotham Knights and Powerless picture that popped up from the CW? What do you think about that?
You saw it. I thought about that. I said they're trolling me right now. What did Paige? I'm not clicking that. I'm not clicking that. But Flash.
10 out of 10.
Circle, 10 out of 10. Full circle moment. When I watch the season back, I will watch episode 9. But season 9 starts at episode 10 for me.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's wild, right?
I say episode 9. Come on.
No, I'm saying like 9, yeah, but I mean for like story wise,
9
story,
was episode 1.
Yeah.
9 was episode 1.
Yeah, 9 is like what Legend. 9 is what Legends did. Like for Crisis.
Yeah.
9 is what Legends did for Crisis. We have our Crisis episode.
Episode
and then you jump
0.
into the season. Episode 0. Then you get episode 1. This episode, like, oh my god.
And
Eric
once again, it had none of the side characters in it, really.
Exactly.
No,
Eric Wallace. How
it just works, you know.
Where was he sit? Like, where has this storytelling? Like, yes, blood work, wonderfully executed. That whole first half. The Mirror Monarch arc. That's hard to Mirror Monarch arc. That wasn't that bad until all the the problems with COVID. And them.
I gave the penultimate episode of that arc like a 10 out of 10, and then the finale of that arc was garbage.
Trash.
Yeah.
I guarantee if there wasn't like an 8-month break, people would like season 6 a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and then the other thing, the finale would have been great. They had a great fight scene. Barry jumped up and did the twirling tornado arms and everything. Cisco out there with his mecha vibe suit, and then you have a come to Jesus kumbaya moment to resolve it. Why? You were literally just fighting.
Yeah.
But anywho, you make me go on a tangent. But not everything Eric Wallace has done is bad. But where was this for the Forces arc?
Yeah.
This man, and yes, Laura, this man directed this episode wonderfully. I'm blown away. Like I had to give him his props in my review. Like I'm blown away by this episode. Like, first of all, if you get Jesse L. Martin to come back and do a fighting scene, like I never in a million years would think that we would see Joe fighting the Flash.
Can I say there was a second there? I thought we were getting Speedster Joe, and I got excited.
I did too.
I did too. But hey, we all everybody in the West House except for Francine has gotten powers at some point in the show.
Yeah.
So I thought everything seeing Young Sing with that comb over.
Yeah.
It was
Ramsey's wife.
Ramsey's
his mother.
Mom.
Mom. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Oh, ew. Oh.
You gotta think it's 2000.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
He would have been a what? Like, he would have been a kid. But sing like that. Like I never, when I heard her name, I'm like, Eric Wallace, you genius. Tied us all together. Like, man, the destruction of the hospital from that fight. Like this was wonderfully directed. Seeing Barry interacting with what's his name? Henry, and why did I forget that? With Henry and Nora and all of that, seeing them go the Easter eggs with Zatara's place is the pizza place. Like Eric,
we got a small cameo from Martin Stein.
Small Martin Stein cameo.
My favorite Arrowverse character.
I forgot
I miss Firestorm.
I forgot how much of a jerk he was. Like before he became friends. And people talking about
he was a total dick.
People talking about some I refuse to believe that Martin Stein would ever just hang up on somebody, especially if they're talking about time travel. I said, you don't remember what happened when they first met Stein in Ronnie's body.
It wasn't until like Legend season 2 where he like started to become like a nice character.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of season 1, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm like, he was always a jerk. Why y'all acting like this is like he's an old man that's like the smartest person in the room.
He kidnapped Jax. Like
Exactly.
Man, he drugged him.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me wonder what happens, because we saw season 1 Barry, hide in the closet before he came out, and you see like the present Barry going, no, don't do that, and run off. But in season 1, he actually comes out of the closet and literally talks to his mother before he dies. So she doesn't say Bart, does she?
No, because that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
But she does in this timeline, right?
No, I'm saying he doesn't talk to her before she dies anymore.
We don't know because we only see the outside. If it truly is a full circle, he does come out. Did I just like crush everyone's brains?
Yes.
Yeah, I was really sitting here thinking. I'm like,
no, I mean, I don't really understand what difference would that make though? Is what I'm trying to figure out. What difference would it make?
Because in the from our perspective, watching season 1, he comes out and Nora is laying on the ground going, "You look like my grandfather," and all that. And,
yeah, I remember that part. Yeah.
Yeah, she said it like during the day because she also sees the future Barry and talking to him. So now that this is a full circle, when he comes out, does she first say Bart? And he goes, no, I'm Barry. You're Barry. And it kind of plays out the same way.
Oh, you mean does her comment to him change? Basically, is what you're saying. I mean, maybe. I think the reason why they didn't have us see it is because they want to kind of leave it up in the air.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it won't, I don't think it would change anything else from the story depending on her response. Because I think the Barry from 2014, his comments would probably be very similar to what they were at that time, if I had to guess. That's interesting. They didn't show it to us on purpose though. So
yeah.
But you know why? Is because and this is one of the reasons I loved about one of the things I loved about this episode was we were following the Barry that we wanted to know about the whole time. Because people were like, oh, this isn't the OG Barry, and like even I've said that. But reality is in like post-crisis, this is the OG Barry because that's what they're setting up in this episode. So now we know in some way or another kind of how the day went leading up to that incident from that perspective.
And there's technically like 5 berries in that house right now.
Yeah.
It's probably more than 5.
That's true, but how I like to think about it now is when he's still running around in a circle with Thawne, I think that entire time when he's come where you see him like put the hand out, I think he made a speed mirage. And he's still chasing Thawne, but he knows, oh, I gotta stop stupid me from trying to prevent this.
We also have to remember that even with Thawne being as powerful as he is, our Barry is like double the speed of Thawne.
Yeah,
right.
He's way faster than Thawne is. Even at Thawne's most fastest. You know what I mean?
But of course they nerfed him because he was already tired.
I mean, maybe, but ultimately, if they were to fight, I think Barry would probably. Look what he did to Thawne at Thawne's most powerful, like the previous season.
True.
This Thawne isn't even nearly as powerful as that. So,
another reason I have to give it up.
My favorite one was when he threw a punch and Barry just looked at him as he like was still moving in slow motion, like he flash timed him. That would be like what would happen when he goes against the this Thawne in the past. Like he would be frozen. He wouldn't be moving.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we still got to give it up to Eric Wallace because Eric Wallace was giving us he added it in there to give us the out of Barry having his original origin of being the Flash later on in life by having the accident that could have given us the story of the lightning bolt hitting him and him becoming the Flash. Because if Thawne would have listened, Thawne would have never gotten stuck, which means he would have never killed Harrison Wells.
Right.
I'm like, Eric Wallace, you're a freaking genius.
Oh my God! Did you just say
Sometimes.
Did you just say that?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I had sometimes. Yes, I had to say it though because I'm sitting there thinking, and when I heard Barry say, "I'm trying to save you," I'm like, "Oh my God!" I was thinking for a second. I'm like, they're gonna do it.
So I also think it's interesting that Oliver told Barry at the end of episode 9 that the lightning bolt chose him. Right? That was the statement he made, and that was a callback to when all the way back in season 1. But the thing that makes it interesting is we even get the follow-up to that in this episode when the reverse, like the reverse Flash negative Speed Force lightning bolt hits someone else and chooses them. It's like now we know that those moments are not, you know what I mean? It's not by chance. Like it is literally predetermined. Also, this brings into question though, was it the particle accelerator that gave Barry his powers, or was it just by chance that the lightning bolt decided to strike Barry when that happened to face against all of the evil metas that were going to be born from the particle accelerator?
That's a good question.
Because all those metas were being born. What if the Speed Force was like, now we have to give him, you know what I mean? Because that happened early, and we assumed that happening early is what made Barry the Flash earlier. But what if the Speed Force was like, it's not 2020, we know it's earlier, but the villains are coming earlier, we need a hero.
Yeah.
And that's why they chose Barry.
I'm holding out for a hero.
That's a good question. That is a really good question. Wow. Now I wonder, I got another one for you. The original Barry. Thawne, whenever they talk, Thawne never talked about a Jesse Quick or a Wally West. Are we to assume that in the original pre-crisis timeline, there was no Kid Flash, there was no Jesse Quick, it was just Barry and Thawne, the only speedsters?
From like season 1?
Yeah. Like, are we to assume that the original timeline Thawne timeline Barry that came back, you know, the one that got his powers in 2020, that there was nobody else? Like he didn't have a Kid Flash or anything.
Well,
It's possible, I guess. I don't know.
He probably in the original timeline he didn't have one until Flash did the Flashpoint.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the Barry
because of that, what's his name? Gave him powers. And does now? Would you say that Kid Flash now has Speed Force speedsters, powers, or does he have organic speed?
You mean artificial speed?
Artificial.
He's always been connected to the Speed Force.
Yeah, but like, the Speed Force died, right?
Yeah, and we saw
and
when
Barry
it was
created the artificial.
Yeah, but we already saw with Jay, when the Speed Force was rebirthed, it reinvigorated him. Anybody that was connected to the Speed Force before, everybody reconnected, because it's not the new Speed Force, it's just the old Speed Force reignited. So anybody that's connected, they still had that connection in them, especially Wally, because he already decided, I'm not going to use my powers because I don't want to waste the residual speed I have left.
Okay.
So it just reignited him. You're right, Jeffrey. He did mention they had a Jesse Chambers and a Danica. I think it was a Danica. Yeah. But Robert had a good question.
Yeah. I was going to say that when it comes to speedsters and time travel, what they were talking about earlier, is that we have to remember that the future changes all the time.
Yeah. So
like anything that Eobard would have known was already outdated information by the time he came back.
True.
So.
But Eric, would you agree with me that the gym is another, like, just a manifestation of the negative Speed Force because of how it was talking when it was controlling Joe?
Another entity.
Why would another entity be trying to make a? Why would he be saying you destroyed the Avatar for us?
Because it possessed Joe. It didn't gain in power. It wasn't Joe, so it had to be some sort of entity.
I think it's the negative speed. I think it's the negative Speed Force
inside the gym.
I think the gym is because when they talked about it being another Avatar later on down the line, they made it a point to show us the gym last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think the gym is the negative Speed Force, calcified negative Speed Force.
Then why did the negative Speed Force hit Malcolm Gilmore, but it didn't give him the gem?
Did see it disappear, so we don't know where it goes
we know
to.
That it's in 2049.
It could show back up to Malcolm in 2049.
Okay.
We gotta wait and see. I personally think it's the Speed Force. Negative Speed Force.
Look up Death Force DC, which is the opposite of the Life Force, which is what Keone is. And the way it's been visually portrayed in the comics is exactly how it was portrayed on the Flash. It's literally blue light that has like lightning strikes and tendrils around it.
So
I think it's the opposite. I think it's the opposite of
which is why Eric Wallace. Oh my God.
I think it's the opposite of the Life Force, which is what Keone is.
And that's why he said she's going to be a key player in defeating.
Yeah. These are the last two forces that we've never seen on the show. The Life Force and the Death Force. We've had all the other ones.
This is the second time you just the first time was with Cancer. The character Cancer, not
well. I mean, the picture. If you look at the picture on Wiki, it's literally the same blue light that was around Barry in the episode. It's the same color and everything. So
I was kind of right that it was a different entity.
Yes, sort of like the Life Force. But I believe that Keone, this new character, is the avatar for the Life Force, and we don't have an avatar for the Death Force.
Yeah,
that's what I think it is.
That's where Cobalt Blue is going to come in. And that's kind of going to be like the blue gem that he uses in the comic.
Because
they're going to make it.
He's going to be chosen by two entities, the Negative Force and also the Death Force.
Yep.
So he's a Negative Death Force.
Well, here's the thing. In the comics, Cobalt Blue can actually steal speed from speedsters, I believe. And I don't think that they could come up with a way for that to work on the show, because if this Death Force has its own set of powers, stealing speed isn't really one of them. So what's the easiest way to give speed to somebody facing off against the Flash is just make him connected to the negative Speed Force. So you have the negative Speed Force and the Death Force, and then a bunch of minions over time that have faced off against the Flash. I think that's really what we're going to get. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue with it, but
I don't either.
No, I think it's pretty much the perfect final battle. I can't think of a better. I guess the only. I guess I kind of always wanted Matt to be the big bad for the final season, but I think this is the second best thing.
They should have done Wallace West and had him be the final big bad, because we all know Wally secretly still wants to beat up Barry.
But the only thing that kind of sucks is I think there's going to be a separate issue with Keone, because if that means Keone is the answer to beating Cobalt Blue because of the connection to the Death Force, which I think that is what they're leading up to, that means that won't happen until the final episode, which means we'll get Caitlin back for 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Of the episode.
Lance, do you want to get on this one?
He still could be. It still could be. It could all be connected. It was the same blue light. So
well, it was blue flame, but I thought he was on the dark dimension.
And he was considered an alien entity, so I don't think it was the same thing. But it could. I think we all assumed that was the case because it made a lot of sense. But I actually think Death Force is the Life Force and Death Force are the only two forces we've never had, and it seems like the show wants to cover all of them. So this seems like it's ticking off those boxes. If you look at all
What
the forces, it's the only 2 that we haven't used.
What if Ronnie was the host, the OG host of the Death Force, and it brought him into the Earth Prime, to where he could like possess a stone after.
Think about this. What did Deathstorm want? He wanted a bride that looked like Caitlyn and Frost. And now Keone is the avatar for the Life Force. So
I'm like, now that I think about it, I'm like, do I really want that?
The biggest loser for this season is Caitlyn. She's the one that's going to be. It's the biggest mistake I think made through the entire season.
Are we also going to talk about how Keone is just living in
their house?
Their house with like, how is she paying for that?
Well, she's training with Argus. I'm assuming they're giving her money, probably.
Also, her entrance to the apartment was dope.
No, when she like turned to like blue smoke or whatever that was.
Wow, she turns into blue smoke, and Barry disappeared into blue smoke. I wonder if they're both two sides of the same coin.
And then did you see the people talking about some? So it was Barry who decided to dampen Nora's powers. That's not what happened. He's being safe because a speedster baby can run out of a window, through a door, into a wall.
Yeah, right. I mean, in Smallville, they didn't have those, and he like ran himself into the wall as a kid, and like he made a bunch of house damages when he was younger, growing up.
I mean, once she gets older, I think that's why Iris decides to put the dampener in her.
Yeah, it's just like proximity dampeners. It's baby gates without baby gates.
However, I want to point this out. As she gets older, they probably will just give her some jewelry or something that has a meta dampener in it so that she doesn't hurt herself.
And we all know one kid that needs it that they will have.
Yes, absolutely.
Bart needs a whole, just strap him down to a chair. But does it seem like, he's since Jordan's not going to be on the show this season, it seems like they've forgotten about my boy Bart.
Yeah,
they forgot about a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they forgot about. I think he's at the low end of the priority of the show, honestly. But like, where's Cisco at? Could he not make a phone call? They got Martin Stein on the phone.
So did they actually change the date of the pregnancy or not? Like, if they were talking about getting pregnant before the 3 months, or where they were supposed to get pregnant.
You mean why she's like so big right now?
Well, no. I mean, like, did they change the future timeline? Because in the map book, it said they got pregnant like in 3 months, but did they get pregnant earlier?
Yeah, Barry Swimmers just swam a little faster.
I'm just saying it could change something in the long run.
Either way it go, if it did change it, it's still dumb because they're not talking about Bart anyway.
I think he'll get a cameo this season. They said the characters that aren't that they said that the characters that we're seeing this that they can't get back are getting cameos, or like name drops. I mean, so I think the fact that we haven't like name dropped him means that we might see him. Same with like Cisco, not like on set like probably.
Kara,
yeah.
Kara, he's like, I'm gonna call everyone because I need.
Kara has got like 10 name drops.
Yeah.
Melissa Benoist better be getting those checks, like royalty checks.
Yeah.
For
they need to drop my boy Cress. What's going on in Freeland?
Grant said they didn't have time for a Black Lightning one. I think
that's That's a horrible name.
I hate that. Yeah,
that's a funny name for a city, Freeland. For a city full of black people. Freeland.
Are there any characters left outside of the ones mentioned that people would have wanted to see in this final season? I mean, anybody at all, or they covered a lot of people?
Regular Javicia.
Yeah.
I was thinking yesterday, and like this is not a need. This is just because I think it would have been cool to see. Like there is nothing I needed left in the show besides a Flash and Stargirl crossover. Like that's all I wanted left.
Oh, and wasn't that convention they said that was one of the plans?
Yeah. They had plans next year. If that was to season 4.
No, she was talking about the COVID one. She was talking about the one that was canceled already.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she was talking about the one that they planned, that they talked about a long time ago, but it was scrapped due to COVID.
Well, I
to be
would
honest,
argue...
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, to be honest, I think that Stargirl and Flash have a similar vibe. I think it would have
Yeah.
worked for the two of them.
It would have worked. I mean, they did it on Titans.
I would argue if season 4 really was about the multiverse, there's no way Flash wouldn't have been involved some way. I think
Right.
Yeah.
Flash,
If,
maybe Superman and Lois, probably all would have kind of tied into each other.
If Stargirl and Supergirl was still airing, I believe that would be a cool crossover, and the title could be like Girl Power or something like that.
I didn't want that name.
Well, I mean, because they're both Stargirl, it's not Superwoman, and it's not Star Woman.
I do really feel bad for like this cast because like they went over to like the CW network, like kind of going into it thinking that like they're going to do all these crossovers and stuff and meet all these like different casts, and they really didn't get the chance to do like any of it, which kind of sucks.
They got the short end of the
Girls
stick.
just like to have fun. Girls just like to have fun. I like that one.
I would have been fine with that name.
I want to point out also that I think a lot of the stuff that we saw that didn't happen in the Arrowverse had to do with COVID. It pretty much ruined everything in terms of like the Arrowverse, because unfortunately all of those shows were connected and it just made things super difficult to do anything, honestly.
I agree.
This is the most viewed live stream ever because it's 28 views. We
I was
usually
just
get 18.
fluctuating between like 30. But before we wrap it up, I want to say, Laura had a question. How do we feel about the newspaper? Again, I think Eric Wallace is I'm going to shock everybody, a freaking genius for how he's tying it in.
No.
The red, bro, think about it. The red skies,
just this time.
Cobalt Blues, Red Lightning is tying in all that. Barry disappearing in a crisis. He literally looked like he was powering up.
You don't think that Eric just jumped on social media like a year ago and was like, oh, what are people saying for the finale? Oh, they want to see the OG flashback. That's what we're going to do. They want to see the newspaper article. That's what we're going to do. They want to see Cobalt Blue.
Of course he did that. But
think
he
about
made
this.
it good.
The only reason Cobalt Blue is on the show is because we've been talking about it for like 8 years.
Yeah.
But he made it good, though. Like, this could have been...
He didn't make nothing. He could have came up with another character completely different if he was trying to make something.
Hey,
he wasn't cooking. He was ordering in.
Like, this could have been... This could have been Red Death. All right.
It was Red Death, and you saw what happened when he created something of his own versus what fans wanted.
Right.
Fans wanted Red Death.
They did not want that Red Death.
There was no way to do Red Death without doing it.
No. I mean, just the simple fact that it couldn't even be constructed properly as a story.
Yeah.
Whereas with this Cobalt Blue thing, he's just like, what did they want? What did they want? What did they want? Last 4 episodes. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. He brought Green Arrow back and made Spectre Green Arrow. Do you think he thought of that? No. I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen Amell's the one that told him to do that.
Do you think we're going to
He also didn't paint him gray.
Do you think we're going to get like a callback to him going Eddie being shot and going up into the portal?
I think so.
Probably. I mean, that makes the most sense, honestly.
Because we're talking about new worlds and stuff like that. So.
And can people please stop saying Eddie should have just shot his nuts? Can we stop? Can that just
not even
be a conversation?
Well, vasectomy is a nice way of putting it.
I keep saying people go, why did he unalive himself instead of just like shooting himself in the nuts? And I'm like,
I still don't get how he did
that. Bro, it's the same thing.
Like, how did he do it?
It's the same thing.
How did he do it? It's like so uncomfortable.
No, he just held the gun like this.
I'm having eternal pain from that comment.
I'm telling you, if you went on social media, you would see a lot of people were asking that question. I'm like, is that a legitimate question? Is this the conversation we're having?
You know how Eddie would have unalived himself if this was on HBO Max.
Oh, it would have been brutal.
Right to the brain, in front of Iris.
I mean, there was another way it could have went down. The Reverse Flash was created because Barry was the Flash. He could have unalived himself and been the hero.
No, what if Eddie would have shot Barry? Same
result though. If there was no Flash, there was no Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, if Eddie would have shot Barry,
Think about
stay
this.
away
Think
from
about
my
this.
woman.
In reality, it was
My
more
girl.
logical. It was more logical to conclude that the Flash created the Reverse Flash than Eddie Thawne was connected to Eobard Thawne, because Eobard said that Eddie was insignificant. So he was going on like a much smaller metric of like, this could work or it could not work. Could you imagine if he did that and he's watching over and Eobard's like, I'm good. I'm fucking good. Let's go, boys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Barry was the only one there that was guaranteed the Reverse Flash would not be around. The only one.
Mind you, that whole time, they didn't check on when Eddie shot himself. They just dropped Barry. Barry just got beaten to a pulp. Like Thawne is literally like, first I'm gonna kill you, then I'm gonna kill them, then I'm gonna go kill you. He's listing off a list of people that he's gonna go kill.
Let me ask you a question, right? Like, what if someone, it's a hypothetical, because I know we're wrapping things up, but what if someone like Eddie were to do that, right? And then Eobard evaporates or whatever, and then Barry runs back to 2 seconds before Eddie does that and then brings him back. What would happen to the timeline? Because what would happen to that gap in time between the time when Eddie did that and Eobard disappeared? Think about that for a second.
Iris would get pregnant with Malcolm Thawne.
Because think about it, if Barry stops Eddie from doing that, right, and then runs 2 minutes back into the future, what could have happened? Like, what would even happen in that situation? It's just such a weird thing. Like, I don't even know how you would rationalize it. Time travel on the show is just weird in general, right? I think the whole erasing people from the future thing has been done. We've seen it happen in how many different ways? We've seen it where it takes years for it to happen. We've seen it where it happens in waves. We've seen it where people just disappear and blip out of the world, like Thanos.
It happens in seconds with Savitar.
Yeah, it's there's no consistency in that. So we'll see how it plays out, because if we go all the way back to season 1, the way time travel and erasing people was portrayed is very different than the way it is now. It's way different. So
I just thought of something. Did Savitar have red lightning in the promo photos? Like his LED?
Suit was red. His LED lights were red.
So I have a theory that that's the negative Speed Force inside of it, and Cobalt Blue is a different entity.
What did you just tag me in on Twitter?
Oh yeah, I thought that was funny.
Because I have a feeling that there's two different Thawns. Like one's Eddie Thawne or something, or one's Eddie Thawne and the other one is Malcolm Gilmore.
And Gilmore, everybody, is not a made-up name. Gilmore is the name of the doctor. That
3Dub, you are a fucking genius. I just realized what's going to happen. I just fucking realized it.
Wait, Malcolm Thawne is really Eobard?
No, not that.
Oh, that's weird.
I think 3Dub is onto something. I actually think that because Savitar was actually a Look when he gets up, he's like, bro.
You okay?
I'm actually fine.
He said I'm actually fine. What was he trying to do is what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm actually fine.
It's so aggressive.
You okay?
I'm actually fine.
Okay, so follow me here. This is me. I'm not cooking yet. I'm prepping the meal, but this is based on 3Dub's ingredients. What if Malcolm Gilmore is wearing the Savitar suit, because technically Savitar doesn't really exist anymore, right? Because that timeline is a timeline that isn't around, right? But the suit is still accessible because of the Flash Museum. Remember, the suit is in the Flash Museum, right? So that's Malcolm, the one that we see at the end of the episode, right?
Right.
What if Malcolm, who is so upset about Eddie dying, right? Because he finds out who he is and all this. What if he takes that crystal and puts it into Eddie's body, like the body, since it's the death force, it reanimates Eddie Thawne, and Cobalt Blue is a reanimated Eddie Thawne, and Malcolm is in the Savitar suit.
Yes!
Like Frida was saying.
But didn't Grant already kind of ruin that theory by saying he was supposed to play a separate character, making Savitar actually Pizza Face Barry?
No, I think that could still show up in the thing, but I think that timeline, they can't, that particular Barry can't come over for some reason. Like they can't bring him over, but the suit is available in the Flash Museum. That's what I'm thinking is what happened. Like they are going to try and recruit that version of Barry, but they can't for some reason.
He made it more concluent, like he made it more like logical, but it was my theory.
No, I'm saying okay, so follow me here. The reason why I think that to even go further here is that Caitlin was animated by something, right? We don't know what that is. We just know that it's Keone. We think it's the Life Force, right?
Right.
So the Death Force is the flip side of the Life Force. So it could probably reanimate or bring dead people back.
Like it did with Ronnie, except for it wasn't Ronnie.
Right. So this might be an entity that looks like Eddie. It has some of the memories of Eddie, but it's actually just the entity as Cobalt Blue. And Malcolm Gilmore is in the Savitar suit.
Sorry, but this just reads funny.
Sucked up. Yeah, well, Robert, that's kind of where I was going with it. Yes, it's basically just reanimating Eddie as a person.
And
I didn't go into too much detail, but sucked up. Yes.
He's not kissing butts and taking
because the entity said that they have been around since the dawn of time, which means that they exist in a way that's beyond space and time. So,
Flash frame.
Oh no, not the singularity sucked off Eddie. Please.
Now we're just adding words.
Once Flash Freak was actually funny this time.
But no, I get it though. I'd be down for that. But it's still funny though. Like Malcolm Gilmore just got hit by the lightning. That's it. What was that?
And if
he just got up, nothing's wrong.
And if the singularity still happened, would it mean that Zoom wasn't actually a because Cisco like literally said that Zoom had an army of metahumans, right? In season 2 of but since 9 happened, we know that there's a multiverse.
Right.
So
we knew that there was a multiverse though. No,
or
he's
still he came from?
He's still probably from that main Earth. Like, remember, we already knew it was a multiverse, but they plotted out key events already from their perspective.
Right.
But what if their key perspective is wrong? Because he didn't know that there was a multiverse, and we thought.
Oh, you mean you're saying that maybe Zoom was from the multiverse and they just didn't know there was a multiverse back when that happened? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That could have been cool.
But I mean, that would have been cool. But like Zoom would have said, "I'm not from this Earth."
Yeah, but even Ryan Wayne didn't know that she was from another Earth.
She's not that bright. She wasn't that bright. Her plan was terrible. I mean, look at her hair. Look at the hair. All right.
That was a bad wig, by the way. That was a really bad wig.
She wasn't all together. I mean, she said, "You want to get nuts?"
I'm like, just let her have her normal, like, natural hair. It looks so good. Why are we giving her this?
And people are not complaining about the Michael Keaton line that says, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." And I'm like, that's his line. He can use it.
Yes.
What's so funny is it felt so not special because we literally got it like a month prior.
Yeah, but from his mouth, it's special because
it is. That's true.
Okay,
movie. I'll take that.
But guys, it is 7:06 my time. It is 8:06 Eric's time and
my time.
Dang, I was still talking.
Okay, wasn't sure. I thought that was the cue.
But, quick, before he cuts me off again, I want to thank the what would I call Eric?
The OG party.
Oh, the OG party host. Well, I'd like to thank him for stopping by, and the other three hosts. Darren's cutting all his hair off, face and head. He's going completely bald.
I did not say that.
Don't do it.
He wants to look like a miniature Lex Luthor.
Oh
no!
Wow!
Shots fired.
That's not.
But I want to thank Darren, Taj, and 3 Dubs, aka Wayne Wilson, who's not on camera today for some reason.
I'm on my phone.
Oh, it sounds really good.
I was gonna say the quality sounds good. That sounds like a good microphone. Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds better than your regular mic.
It's my iPhone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but yeah, thank everybody for being on today. If you haven't noticed, my reviews have been very sporadic. I don't know when my Flash review is gonna post. I did not post a Titans review, but what I'll say is I enjoyed the episode, and it was a lot of blood sucking. It reminded me of the originals. Guess Joseph Morgan got back into his regular bag with that. It was good though. It was good. The finale's this week, the series finale. So goodbye to Titans.
Yeah.
Forever.
Sucks. But...
Yeah, it's like this is just crazy. The Dctv that we've known since 2011 is like,
how are we losing everything at the same time? How is that even happening?
Doom Patrol, Titans, Stargirl.
It's gone. Like it's crazy to think about. Like I was like, everything is really over.
It reminds me of the Galaxy Quest or whatever, where it says, "So long, thanks for all the fish."
But yeah, make sure you watch The Flash this week. Hopefully, it's another phenomenal episode. It's directed by Kayla Compton. Allegra. She might not be in the episode as much.
Probably not. You know what Paigey says is the directors don't always matter too much. So
yeah.
Yes, I'm streaming on Twitch tonight. The Big L tonight, basically.
Yes.
I don't really have a name. I don't have a name for it, but I'll be live later. Yeah.
Yes, Josh. Hopefully, Superman and Lois stays on for another season.
Yeah.
Just keep your fingers crossed.
Oh my God! Next year will be so dry if we don't have Superman and Lois.
Like,
yeah.
Needs
something. If they don't do Gotham Knights, they might as well do that.
So
that's not even a comparison. I don't know why I said that.
If there's nothing to talk about,
movies and cartoons, probably.
Yeah, that's about it.
The MCU.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, the MCU. Yeah,
we're going to be talking about House of the Dragons for sure.
I mean, we probably could cover stuff like that if next year is going to be dry. I mean, why not?
Stranger Things.
Well, Stranger Things is delayed.
Yeah, that's true.
Avatar: The Last
Well, honestly, next year
I think it will be out.
Next year is going to be dry regardless if this strike doesn't resolve itself.
We'll have to go back to like old shows. Go back to like, I don't know, Birds of Prey or something.
I mean, we could always do like go back to the beginning of like Flash and review the earlier seasons like each week.
We had to do what we did during the pandemic for the after parties. Speculate on what's coming and what was delayed and how long.
Well, keep in mind that I think next year they know it's going to be a dry year. Even if Superman and Lois comes back, it's going to be a light year for content. I think we're going to get a lot of promotion for the upcoming DCU stuff. I think we're going to get stuff like every couple weeks, probably.
Okay, but okay, now 3 Dubs. Now you can do it.
Oh, okay.
Yep, but I'll check everybody later. Bye.
Bye.
Who's whistling? Did it end?